Yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. You know, it's offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But, you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing, you know, because I'm not doing it for the 200 egos in the room. I'm doing it for the 200 million people watching around who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires. And freedom of speech is so important these days. I've reached the age now where I don't care anymore. It's a sin. Not to joke about all the bad things, that's a waste, because that's exactly what we should joke about. You can get sued in this country for saying someone's gay if they're not, you know, which is a homophobic law, because you can't be sued the other way around. You can't be sued for saying someone's not gay if they are, which seems unfair, doesn't it? Relax. I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner. And I found out my crime was that I dead named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, you know, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlete. It was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, you know, a big, famous man with a huge, I don't know, but I mean...
You've got to love Ricky Jay. The way he exposes these woke ideas is just hilarious. And it really makes you stop and think about how crazy everything's gotten. Honestly, there's nothing they can do to cancel him. He's just too big, kind of like Dave Chappelle. Normally, Ricky stays out of politics, but in this next clip, even he can't hold back anymore. He's talking about how corrupt the whole political system is, and honestly, it's hard to blame him. Let's check it out.
The worst thing is, the in charge do what they want. And you know what, I can, you know, I see all these people saying all the parties they were having and what all the stuff they were doing, and people saying, you know, that was the day I couldn't see my mum in hospital, or I couldn't go to my dad's funeral, and because the people in charge, the posh, privileged people in charge, were acting like Charlie Sheen. I mean, really rubbing salt in the wound. And as I say, I don't get political, but
the reason I'm making this video today is because of a comment from Ace Tricks. He asked, asterisk, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing the majority of British people hate politics as much as most Americans? Asterisk, to answer your question, yes, I'd say most Brits are just as fed up with modern politics. It doesn't seem to matter who you vote for. It's the same old story. Politicians say one thing to get into power, and then once they're in, they completely change course and do the opposite.
To Jeremy Corbyn, who's a friend as well as a colleague.
You wouldn't call Jeremy Corbyn a friend?
No. Friend as well as a colleague. We have to make the case for freedom of movement. We don't want open borders. Freedom of movement has gone and it's not coming back.
Cutting off power, cutting off water.
Well, I think that Israel does have that right. I was not saying that Israel had the right to cut off water, food, fuel or medicine. Wounded by the media, the Sun in this city, are hurt for this city. And I certainly won't be giving interviews to the Sun during the course of this campaign.
Did you write an article for some newspaper the other day? Surely that's not going to gain you any support across the Northwest.
Would you write for them again, Sakir?
I would do, yeah.
Can you guarantee that under your leadership, the 2019 Labour commitments to nationalise water, energy, rail, the Royal Mail, they'll all be in Labour's next election manifesto?
I've made that commitment.
Bullshit.
Will you nationalise the big six energy companies, yes or no?
No.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
When are we going to stop taking went to Eton as a qualification to run the country? I mean, now. So that's why I'm doing this as well, because I've noticed all around, you know, there's a lot of annoyance and frustration, totally justified as well, misinformation, anger. But I think the next pandemic is going to be like anxiety and depression, you know. God knows how it affects like teenagers who have had their, you know, some of the best years of their life sort of taken away. And college, I didn't go to college to study. You know what I mean? 3 years living at home, doing things on Zoom. That's not my idea. That's not my idea of the college experience.
It's kind of funny how politicians love to tell you how you should live, right? They're always talking about making cutbacks and how tough things are going to get for you. But then you find out that 40% of all British prime ministers went to Eton. If you're not familiar, Eton is a private school, and it costs a whopping £63,000 a year to send a kid there. Imagine that. Rich people paying double the average UK salary just to send their child to school for 1 year. Then these same people grow up, become politicians or even prime ministers, and act like they're just like everyone else. They say things like, "We're here to help the working class," but it's all a bit of a joke. This isn't just happening in the UK. It's a problem across the Western world. Politicians will pretend they understand your struggles. Struggles that, by the way, they had a big hand in creating, while they live a life of luxury.
In France, takes his $80,000 watch off under the table while he's talking to people about tightening up and about how this has to be done.
Et il y a les blocages, et les blocages, il faut pouvoir les lever quand ils sont. C'est pourquoi j'ai demandé de négocier, additionner, que nous avons pu faire.
Come on, man.
Oh, cultural appropriation. Have you heard of that? Cultural appropriation, the latest no-no. Now, again, in my day, it was considered a good thing to swap ideas with other cultures, with other nations, to share things with other races, to assimilate. It was the opposite of racist. Now it's racist. Gwen Stefani got in trouble in her last video because she had her blonde hair in dreadlocks. People go, "No, black people invented dreadlocks, you can't have them, you're white, that's racist." Jamie Oliver got in trouble when he put out authentic jerk chicken recipe. People go, "No, black people invented that, you can't have it, you're white, that's racist." Now, black people, they use the N-word, don't they? We invented that. That's the one, isn't it? That's the one.
This is exactly why so many people are fans of Ricky Gervais. He takes all these frustrating, ridiculous topics, stuff that, if you watched anyone else debate them, would have you pulling your hair out, thinking, how are these people so clueless? And somehow, he makes a joke out of it. It's actually funny and makes sense. Here's a wild example. There was a food bank funded by taxpayers, and the woman in charge decided to ban white people from using it. She put up a sign saying the food was only for Black and Indigenous people. Well, here's the thing. If you're stopping poor people from getting free food, you're definitely not on the right side of history. You're part of the problem, not the solution. Since this article is about minorities, let me play this last clip from Ricky Gervais, where he shares his thoughts on what it's like to be a minority. It's definitely worth a listen.
Play this last clip of Ricky Gervais and his opinion on what it's like to be a minority.
But these people are virtue signalling. They're trying to bring people down to raise their own status. And they say it's because, no, we're protecting minorities. Like, they're basically saying minorities haven't got a sense of humour, which is so patronising. And I get that as well, to what it's like to be outnumbered. In this country, we're still only 5% black, 5% Asian, 5% LGBTQ, you know, tiny numbers. Now, I'm a white, heterosexual multimillionaire, right? There's less than 1% of us. Do I whine? No. Do I don't mind. I just get on with it. Come on, Rick. Come on, Rick. Just keep fun. I'm like Rosa Parks. Do you know what I mean? I'm like... Except I fought for the right to never have to take a seat on a bus. But...
Anyway, that's the end of the video. So thanks for watching. Shout out to Ricky Gervais for exposing these woke people in the most genius way possible. Okay, the guy's an absolute legend. I just love the way he exposes these people. It's so funny to me. But anyway, thanks for all the support on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
For today's video, big thanks to Ricky for calling out the woke crowd in such a clever way. Seriously, the guy is a legend. His approach is hilarious. I really appreciate all the support on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Music